Okay.
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Okay. His voice is a little low, Kevin.
Oh, okay. Hello?
Okay.
Hello, Betty.
Yeah. Have him talk a little bit.
How are you
M-
today, man?
Mike. Yes. Are you close to the phone? Or are you talking?
I can have the phone. You want me to put on my headset?
Okay. Yes, please. That way you can hear us clear.
Okay, just wait. Let me go grab it.
Okay.
My car.
Not sure if that's going to make a difference,
Oh.
but maybe his voice is just a little low. I have,
My voice is low.
yeah,
My voice is low. Are you serious?
yes, his voice is low.
My
Okay.
voice is low. Wow, I've never heard that before. I haven't been here today either in practice, but okay.
Bring it up an octave or two. Okay. Hold on a minute. We're almost on. Give me 30 seconds.
Well, I have to make an announcement that just happened in the chat. Okay, you can hear me. Does that make a difference? Does that make a difference?
Somewhat. Much better.
Okay.
Just an octave up, I think is good. So I think we're good.
Uh-oh. Can you hear? I can hear. Can you hear?
I can hear him. Okay. 30 seconds. We're going to be on air. Okay, I'll let you know when we're on air. We're about. YouTube is on. I'm about to get on Facebook as well.
Okay.
Okay,
Okay.
yes, we're going to be on all social. Okay, here goes. Okay, Facebook is up. Okay, here we go. Welcome, everyone. TVOSJ.org, the voice of San Joaquin, right here off the Miracle Mile in Stockton, California. Welcome to your community radio. And now it is time for Simmons on Sports with Kevin Simmons. You're on.
Hey, good evening, everybody. Hello, hello, hello. A lot of stuff going on, folks. Today, on the SOS show, today I'm going to bring on my first guest. But before I bring them on, I have to discuss or bring up what just occurred in the NBA just now. NBA center, Utah Jazz center, Rudy Gobert, just tested positive for the coronavirus.
Oh, no, not good.
Oh, no. It's worse. Not only did he get positive for coronavirus, two other teammates from the team were sick as well. So the NBA,
So go ahead. This is not good news.
yes. So the NBA, so the NBA just put the season on suspension.
Oh,
Wow. The game that I have on right now, which is Denver and Dallas, when it is over, that will be the last game. But I don't think there's going to be even a second game tonight between the Pelicans and somebody else tonight after this. I think the season is on suspension. I'll get into that in detail after I finish my interview with my dear friend and coach of St. Mary's High School, track coach, Myke Lewis-Tyson. How you doing, my brother? I'm good. How are you? I'm a fairly good for an old guy.
and welcome.
Welcome to the old guy. You are the first guest that I have now on Similar Sports, which I refer to as SOS.
Yay! Woo!
And I brought you in specifically because I want people to get an idea of what we've done you've accomplished with St. Mary over the last 2 or 3 years. Just give a little bit of an intro, folks. Myke took over as head coach, 2 years ago, Myke? Going on 3?
This is the 4th.
Okay, 3 going on. Myke, the last 2 years, has won the TCAP championship.
Correct.
He's also won a Masters championship. 2 of them. And he's also gone to the state meet twice. And this is for his team. And he has coached a track athlete, or one of the coaches of a track athlete, that won a gold medal last year at the state meet, Jamar Marshall. So, with all that said, Coach, I got questions for you.
Sure.
First, what did you have to do, or what did you do to help turn that program around over St. Mary's? Was it something in particular you looked at, or was it a philosophy? Break it down for us. Tell us what's going on.
I think what I did is I came in with a track mind because of my track background. No disrespect, I wasn't a teacher that was assigned to a sport. It was a sport that I competed in myself. I wanted kids to believe in themselves and to believe in their abilities. And once they started doing that, it became real easy.
From the technical aspect, most people don't understand or realize how it works in terms of team points, all of that kind of stuff when it comes to tracking the team. The guys in an individual event or whatever, and they don't understand it's all part of the team for that. Could you explain how that whole format works?
Well, when you look at it, people see people either running, jumping, or throwing. And they look at that, they look at it as an individual event, which it is. As those events are going on, those events are being scored. And so depending on the invitational, depending on the dual meet, there's a certain point total. What you do as a coach, or what I do as a coach, is before I go in the night before, is I tally what I believe my team is going to amass, how many points they're going to amass. I also compare that to the next team, and the next team, and the next team. Gives me an idea of what we have to do to get to the points that I've tallied up to win the meet. Example, dual meet, if you get to 66 points, you're going to win the meet. All right. So the first person with 66 points in the dual meet will win the meet. When it comes to an invitational, the score is completely different. But again, if you go in the top 5, okay, and let's say 5 or 6 events out of 16 events total, if you're in the top 5 in a lot of those events, you should have enough points to win an invitational as well. So I've been kind of a mathematician as well as a coach in counting up the score per event, all right, by event, by athlete, and at the end, add that all up, and that kind of gives you either you won it or you lost it.
Okay. Now, of course, the competitor in me has questions now.
Sure.
Okay, would it be wise for a coach then to gather up points if he knew he was going to get a certain number of points with certain guys in certain events? Would it make sense to overload a particular event so that you got placed first, second, and third? Or
in an invitational, yes.
Okay, well, why is that different? Explain that.
Okay, simple. I'll give you the scoring concept. That'll help you a lot better. In a dual meet, there's 5, 4, and 1. 5 for first place, 4 for second, and 1 for third. Okay, in the dual meet. And again, that dual meet, you're trying to get to 56. All right, out of the 16 events. In an invitational, and even in the second and masters, the scoring completely changes to 10, 8, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So once you find out where your kids are in terms of are they in the top 4, which is 10, 8, 6, 5, you look to try to be in that area, all right, versus the 4, 3, 2, 1, okay? The more you can get in the top 5, as I was saying earlier, the more points you amass. So in the sections, masters, even the state meets, if you're looking at being competitive in those particular meets, you've got to look at top 5 scoring in all the events and see where you are. And that's where it goes from dual meet to 66 that you need to masters and sessions to just outscore everybody.
Okay.
So to your question, yeah, you do load up where you can get the most points. Yes.
Okay, but now, does that benefit you if you're another track team that, say, has your strength in the field events and not so much on the track? Can that make a difference? Like, say, for example, you got some good shot putters, discus throwers, javelin throwers, pole vault, high jump. If you could load up with those things and maybe not have sprinters so much, or say you have a lot of good long distance runners and a few other people like that, would it make sense to load those up?
A quick answer is yes. You load up whatever event, to your question, your overall question, you load up whatever event you can to get the most points. So if you just have, there are some teams that just have throwers, there are some teams that just have jumpers, and there are some teams that just have runners. Whatever your strength is, if you know you get the most points at, you load it up, of course.
Okay. And the reason why I say that is, you know, I went to Washington State University.
Yes.
And when I was at Washington State University, we used to get, because of Washington State's exchange program, so start laughing because I already know you know where I'm going with this.
Okay.
We had a bunch of guys from Kenya, Nigeria, and Ethiopia, and various African countries that would come to Washington State for the engineering, veterinary medicine, and doctorate programs. But these guys just happen to be the best distance runners in the world. Are you thinking of Mr. Rono? But my bad. And that was one of the people I brought up, Henry Rono, who happened to be the world record holder in the 3,000 steeplechase, and one time the 3,000 meter steeplechase, the 5,000, and the 10,000. Is that correct?
That's very correct.
Washington State used to load up in those long distances just before the eye to the point of getting all of those points. And they ended up being dual meet NCAA champions like 3, 4, 5 years in a row, right? Yeah. So that's the psychology, right?
Yes, it is.
Okay, got it. Because basically with your team, what is your basic strong points, or do you have any, or I mean, in any particular events, or is it more spread out? Explain to the listeners how that works.
Well, for us, we're pretty balanced. We have a good core of jumpers. We have a good core of hurdlers. We have a good core of distance runners. We have a good core of throwers. We have a good core of sprinters. So we're pretty well rounded. One of the things that has happened in St. Mary's is that a lot of people have started believing in themselves and believing in our coaches. And there are some kids that are coming out of the woodwork that we never knew could do what they're doing. So it's really surprising us as well. The biggest thing for me is I love my coaches because all the coaches in St. Mary's are former track people. All right, this other one is, we're track people. When you are on my staff, as it shows, you love track, you love what you do, and you love to teach what you've done, okay? And so the biggest thing about my team and my coaching staff is they love giving back. And it's showing. It's just something that the kids feed off of us, and we feed off of them. And it's a game in practice, and it's even more evident in the draft.
Okay, well, let me ask you this. Well, do me a favor. Go ahead and rule out the coaches for each particular event that you got. Name them out individually. Explain what their strengths are, and what, if you can, what kids that they've worked on to develop to help make this all work for you as a track coach.
Well, I would look at, from an athletics perspective, in terms of girls, we have Cadman Fields, who's a long jumper, potential is, got about 20 feet. She just scratched 19.6 at the leap on Saturday by half an inch. Her strength is plyometric training, to get her bounding and her jumping. We have both Marshall brothers in the hurdles. Their strength and their technique with their coach, and their endurance. We have Jimmy Williams in the district with his coaches and his technique. The bottom line is that no matter what event I would go to, we are technically sound in what we teach. And our kids are like sponges, okay? They're constantly asking questions. They're constantly absorbing what we're teaching them. They want to get better, and they know that we can do it. So it's to the question at hand, if I go from 1 to the 16th event, all right, 1 to 16, every event, and every athlete in that event, all right, wants to do their best, does their best, just wide-eyed, bushy-tailed listening to what's going on, and it shows. It shows in our success.
So then, my next question would be, in terms of development, because you just said that there have been people who that ended up in the program that necessarily weren't people that came in very, very good athletes or track athletes and then became that way. So in terms of development, how do you guys break that down? Do you spend climbing day working with each of these kids on a development phase, or do you have it so that, you know, the ones that are developing are doing a particular thing, and then the ones who are already at a particular level do another thing, or they all do things together? Talk to me about that.
Well, you know, for me, I group you out by your experience, to your question. I group you out by your experience. If you've done certain events before, okay, you're going to be in this particular group. If you haven't done things before, you're going to be in that particular group. That being said, you're going to do the exact same thing. All right? You just won't do it at the level of the group in front of you, but you will do exactly what they're doing. Real quick to that question, I had a kid that's a senior at Fullerton State named Mia Franco. And Mia came out the track I'd never run before at all. Her parents were looking for a sport to get her into. Well, let's go fast forward 4 years. She's 3-time state meet qualifier, full ride to Fullerton State, all right, just ran in NCAA indoors, and it just, to your question, she's one of those kids that came out of nowhere that was in the group of developing, okay, and became the group of developed, if you want to put it like that.
Okay. Now, let me ask you this. In terms of what you've done, see, a lot of people, I'm sure people have figured out by now that you and I are very good friends.
Okay.
How do you let these people know what I already know, that I know the community doesn't know? How many kids have ran for you that have received college scholarships and have competed at the next level after they left you?
From St. Mary's alone, there has been 48.
Okay, say that again.
From St. Mary's alone, there have been 48 kids getting full to partial scholarships. I didn't include the walk-ons. I included all full or partial scholarships. 46.
So, and this has been, and how long have you been in St. Mary's?
14. I've just started my 14th season.
Okay, so you were an assistant for 14 years, and you sent 48 kids onto full scholarships or partial scholarships. And by the way, folks, when somebody says a partial scholarship, please understand, that's actually more significant than a full scholarship, and I'll tell you why. Tell people how many scholarships track teams normally get to give out to all to the kids on the track program.
If I'm correct, it should be 6.
Okay? Now, 6 full rides or 6 partials or play more?
There should be 6 full rides if I'm correct. I'd have to go back and do my math. I think it's 6 full rides. I think there should be 14 total. All right, and out of the 14, maybe 6 or 4, and then they have the others scattered around.
Split those, right?
Yes.
Okay, so then when you talk about a split, explain how that whole split thing works in terms of trying to piecemeal a track team together and how people would evaluate what kind of kid to get, what kid to give a full, what kid to not to give a partial to. Because, you know, you have experience at the junior college level. By the way, Mike was also a coach at Delta College. So break that down for people so they can get an idea as to how this works and how difficult it is to get any money to go do this at the next level.
When you look at full scholarships in track and field, they have NCAA standards from Division 1 all the way down to Division 3. And so there's standards that let you know how much money you can get, how much money they can offer. So when you look at that chart, and it's listed in black and white, you have to run a 10-4 or 10-3 or whatever. Do you want to get a full scholarship? You have to run like a 10-5 or 10-6, D2, so on and so forth. What you look at is if you're consistent at running a certain time in a certain race, or throwing a certain distance, or jumping a certain distance, you have to be consistent at it. All right, if you meet these qualifying standards, you will be offered a full scholarship. If you are close, if you're in the ballpark, you'll be offered a partial. All right. When you're offered a partial, that means you can get the mark and then have that scholarship ready. Okay. But more than likely, there is at Division 3, and as we go lower, okay, those are more like walk-on type of things, and those are mostly also academic schools. They're really not athletic schools or academic. But there's money from the academic side that they push to the athletic side to help you out as well when you go to those schools. So when you say full ride, it's in black and white what you will get and what you have to do to get that. When it's partial, all right, it's not a half scholarship. I've heard that said before. There's no such thing as a half scholarship. It is a partial. All right? Partial means they're going to give you a certain amount of money. You're going to have to need some help somewhere else, your financial aid or your parents. But again, once you hit certain marks, that money goes up. So what a lot of people don't understand, and I'm glad you brought that up, I tell kids at St. Mary's, look, I want you to go to college. Okay? I want you to get a scholarship. But if you don't get one going in, earn one while you're there. And a lot of people don't understand that. I need you to earn one while you're there. So go there knowing, okay, I have the potential, I just don't have the mark yet. That's my key word, yet. Once you get there, you work your tail off to erase that yet and start getting paid for getting your scholarship to go to college.
Okay. Now, yeah, I'm glad you broke all that down because, like I say, that's the kind of thing that a lot of young kids out there that might be listening or a lot of parents don't understand how all that goes. And see, as you know, I played Division I basketball, and so that's a whole different perspective because that's a higher revenue, money producing sport. So because of that, they're only handing out full scholarships, and they are very selective about who they get because a D1 scholarship, depending on what school you're at, over 4 years, can run as high as $300,000. And that's why basketball is in a whole different stratosphere because, to be honest, they pull the train that brings along all the other stuff to the caboose as far as the athletic stuff and other programs, correct?
Correct.
All right. Now, when you talk about your coaches, one of them who happens to be a friend of mine who happens to be helping you working with two of the fastest kids in the world right now. That's Coach Johnson.
Yes.
Tell people a little bit about JJ's background that you know, and tell them about the role he played in helping develop the Marshall Brothers.
Well, John and I were teammates at Delta. He went on to Arizona, and I went on to Fresno State. We were also field rivals back in high school when he went to Staggett and went to Edison. He's a hurdler. That's what he does. He's a hurdler, and he is a sprinter, but his specialty is hurdling. And what he's done is brought his knowledge, brought his passion, and brought all of his skill set to St. Mary's. And before he had the Marshall Brothers, he had Dion Lightfoot. A lot of people don't realize that. Lightfoot was a kid that went to Kimball and went on to the state team and, went off to college himself. But before he went to Kimball, he was at St. Mary's with Coach John. So this is where he started. A lot of people think that Coach John started with the Marshall Brothers, and that's what, no, that's not, incorrect. He started a while ago. What he does is he brings a very old school approach to a new school era. He's a no-nonsense kind of coach. He expects you to want to be good. He expects you to want to get good. He's very vocal on training you on what he knows you need to do. Just a no-nonsense kind of person. And that goes all the way back to when he was a Spaz and how competitively we worked in Stockton back in the 70s. I have to put that out there. Back in the 70s, he brought that all the way into this new era of kids. And so the fact is, when you can tell a kid, this is what I've done, don't question too much. You can ask questions, but don't question. okay, because I know what I'm doing, and I know it's going to be best for you. So when it comes to Coach John and all my other coaches as well, again, the experience that they've had in running, okay, is second to none.
Well, what I appreciate hearing is that you've given the respect to your entire staff. Because I know it's always easy for the head coach to get the attention and to get all the respect, but it's also those people that work underneath them and that work in conjunction with the head coach that makes it all work. And see, a lot of times people don't understand it. That's why I wanted to make sure that in this conversation that you had an opportunity to discuss and bring up stuff about your assistant. To me, if I didn't do that, I'd be wrong.
Well, if I may, I tell the kids all the time, and again, back to one of the earlier questions, the kids respect us at St. Mary's, I think, a little bit more than a lot of other coaches, because they've talked to their peers a lot, their friends, about what they're doing at their school or whatever. And what I found out from a lot of my athletes, when they tell their friends that their coaches went to college, and when they tell their friends that their coaches all ran track, and just track, it's not football, track, and basketball, track, just track. A lot of the kids' eyebrows raised if they go to schools that they attend, because I don't know where their coaches came from, but I can bet you that I have one of the top coaching staff in the state of California that's based on the track experience that all my coaches bring to coaching. I can throw that. I would put that up against anybody.
So you're basically saying that your coaching staff is not normal. They're a step above the average.
We're 3 steps above the average.
Okay. Okay. Now, folks, I can't verify what I'm about to say, but as somebody who went to St. Mary's for 4 years and is a St. Mary's alum, and I know some of you hate hearing that, but get over it. One of the things that even Coach Myke didn't know, and I have to verify, I didn't get a chance to verify it today, but I believe it's true, is that Coach Myke is the first black head coach of any sport at St. Mary's High School, which, to be honest with you, if I can verify that to be true, that's quite an accomplishment. Because, and I'm not saying that it's an accomplishment because St. Mary's would never hire a black person. That's not my point. My point is that over the period of time that St. Mary's has had their success, they've never had a black head coach. They've got lots of black assistant coaches, but never any black head coach. In the way that has worked out, what would you say about that in terms of your connection and how that works with the students at St. Mary's and also with the community? How would you gauge that in terms of its importance?
I think it's significant. I think it's significant for a lot of reasons. I think the biggest reason is when you are wanting kids to do the right thing and be the best they can possibly be, a lot of times kids need to see someone like them doing those things. I think there's a lot of complacency in just thinking anybody can do it, okay? But there's also a deeper element to me to where kids need to see people, okay, of their background, of their heritage, of their race, okay, doing certain things at a level that they see other people doing it. I'm a proud graduate of Fresno State. I'm also an educator myself. Again, I go back to my staff. We're all college graduates. We're all, when we tell our kids what we've done and how we've done it and where we've come from, okay, it's right here. We're not trying to impress you, or we're not trying to give you something that, to make us look good or whatever. No, we're telling you the truth, and we're telling you about hard work. I think the significance of the whole thing is that I look out and I look at all of the coaches that I coach, and I'm old enough to now coaching my athletes' kids. So I've been doing it quite a while. I'm coaching their kids. The fact that I've had longevity in this is that I've listened to the coaches before me. I've understood what it takes to be a coach. I'm extremely, extremely knowledgeable of what I'm doing. But I think that as a whole, the community needs to know that we are all one community. All right, and we should really, really, really embrace that. I'll say this. I just went to the Western Ranch at St. Mary's basketball game. That atmosphere took me all the way back to the 70s, and a lot of people don't understand that. But it took me back it took me back to the 70s, because in the 70s, when Saturday Edison, the deal was like that. When St. Mary's played Franklin, the deal was like that. When Lincoln played Edison, the deal was like that. So it's kind of like there's an atmosphere of playoffs, but that was every Wednesday and Friday. You know what I mean? And so I grew up in that particular era. And so now watching it hopefully come kind of full circle is big, because I'm still a part of it.
Now, when you say that, I have to pull this in. A lot of people don't understand the rich history of track and field in this town.
Mm-hmm.
And they don't know who the great coaches were, who the great track athletes were. And one of the things that seems to have gotten lost is that people don't discuss or talk about some of the great athletes that came from out of here that were track and field and are in other sports. For example, one of the names I'm going to bring up, and I'll let you carry the ball after I bring them up, would be possibly one of the greatest athletes I've ever seen in this town. Was one J.D. Hill.
Mm-hmm.
Now, explain to my listeners, or our listeners, what the things that J.D. Hill did as a track athlete, as a football athlete, as a baseball player, and I think he even shot. Explain to people what kind of athlete he was and what he accomplished on the track that made him end up being a tremendous college football player and then on to the NFL.
Well, I was a kid. JD was my idol, like a lot of people my age. He was our idol. We was also, we would, and I'm gonna tell the story. We would sneak in the football games because we were little kids to watch him play. We would watch him, Lawrence Bryce, the Viney brothers. JD was a different kind of guy, because he played baseball and he ran track at the same time. There'd be a baseball game at Edison. He played center field. He would actually, when they were up to bat, he'd run to the track, he'd run away, he'd come back, go back out in the field. That's a true story, okay? And he would win a race, and he'd go back and play baseball. Come back, run a relay, go back and play baseball. He did that. I can't count the time. He was just a fierce competitor that when he did go to the NFL, he came back home and had to get into a football camp that kept us active and involved. JD was just probably, if you look at all sports athletes, I don't know any that matches him in terms of what he did and where it took him. You know what I mean? I mean, there have been great athletes, and there have been multi-faceted, and they've done a lot of sports. But when you say JD, for me, he is that guy. He's the guy that all of us want to be like. All of us, like I said, again, snuck in James to watch him play. And he never disappointed, but he gave you something to shoot for. He really did. He put stuff out there to where you said, I want to be like him. Okay? I'm going to do what I can to be like him. So one thing I can say about that is it gave you a different kind of approach and a different kind of work ethic, because you saw him doing all of that. All right? And I do mean all of that. And you wanted to be like him. So that means he had to do all of that. And he is the first for me to really catch my eye and make me want to be an athlete.
That's awesome. That's awesome stuff. Now, I segued from that, as him being an all-around great athlete, into two of the kids that you're coaching right now. And I don't think that Stockton or the area truly understand who these two young men are, what they've accomplished, and what they have the potential of doing. And you, as one of their coaches, I think would be the best person to explain and to put into context who these young men are, what they've accomplished, where they're headed, and what you think that they could do in the future. And that's Jamar and Jaden Marshall. Explain them what they run, what they do, what their times are, their connections in terms of a local, state, and national impact.
Well, I'll start with Jaden, and I'll get to Jamar after. Jaden is number one in the class in the 110 high hurdles, number one in the class in the 300 hurdles. He had the second fastest time ever run by our freshman last year in our state league. And then we had Jaden Waterton had the second fastest freshman time, ninth grader, ever run in the state of California last year. That's certain. He ran faster than his brother ran as a freshman. He's already ranked number one sophomore in California, number one ranked sophomore in the United States in the 110 hurdles, just in the intermediate hurdles. So, again, going back to their coach, that all comes from what their coach does for them. You jump to Jamar, and Jamar is your reigning state, national, and world leader. He's your state record holder. He's run the second fastest time ever in high school in the 110 hurdles. And his goal is, of course, break that record this year. He's run 13:22, which is the state record. He's run 13:22, which is the second fastest time ever run nationally. Again, these two guys, they come to practice, and let me just be blunt. Some people think that they're cocky. They think that they're arrogant. They think that, they can do what they want to do. They're two of the most humble kids I've ever coached. They come to practice. They enjoy practice. They enjoy their teammates. They push their teammates. Make no mistake. They want to win, okay? So if there's that other button that they got to turn on, they turn it on. It's a joy to work with them. It's a joy to see what the future holds for both of them. Jamar's already signed with Arizona State. And back to that, Arizona State has the top incoming freshman class in America in track and field. You can look that up. The top incoming freshman class in America. They're already favored with these freshmen to win the Pac-12. And the Pac-12 has Arizona, has USC, has UCLA. Okay, the Pac-12 is not a joke. So right now, preseason, they are pegged to win the whole conference with these freshmen that they have coming in. So again, Jamar had a choice of any school in the country, and that needs to be made very clear. Any school in the country. He chose Arizona State because of track and field, and of course because of academics. But he had his choice. He really had his choice. And again, I think because he's a California kid, and mom and dad is here, and I want to go see him run too. I'm selfish. He probably chose Arizona State for that. For that reason as well. But again, I have to stress for people that are listening, the humbleness of those two young men, okay, this is a tribute to their mother and their father. But their humbleness is one of the things you would not expect. And I've heard, and I'll be blunt, I've heard people in the community who don't know them say some things, and I just look to shake my head because, again, you don't know them. You know what I mean? You don't know how much sweat they put in, okay, how much they really are teammates, how much they really care. Let me say this. When we won the section, and when we won the Masters, and when we won the league, the leader of that was Jamar. The leader of that was Jamar going over to the jump, making sure they were jumping, going over to the throws, making sure they were throwing, watching the distance people. The biggest cheerleader, and you can hear him because he has that distinguished voice, was Jamar. And so I say that because people need to understand he was involved in everything we did in terms of winning, in terms of getting the team fired up, in terms of making his teammates better. Trust me. They will tell you. He might have got annoying sometimes, I got to be honest, okay? But he was there to be annoying. You understand what I'm saying? Okay, he was right there yelling at the distance or yelling at one of the distance people or yelling at one of the jumpers. He was there. So, again, people don't, I really laugh when people start chattering about things they don't know. You know what I mean? I don't get involved in the conversation. I don't get involved in the conversation. I just let them talk. Because when I know what's going on, all right, and I'm given an opportunity like I'm giving now to tell it, I'm going to tell it.
Awesome. Now, I have one last thing to ask you or let people or allow you to give people some insight about you. One of the things that people don't know about that you do is that you train athletes on the side in addition to in track and field, but you also train football players who are trying to pick up their speed on the side. One of those happens to be somebody that you know really well. And you also work with him and a bunch of his friends. Go ahead and tell people about who some of the people that you work with that happen to, they don't run on track necessarily, but they do run on football field.
Well, of course, everyone knows my godson is Brandon Cook. and he plays for the Rams. I coach him in the offseason as well as Robert Woods. I coached Mike Thomas in the offseason with the New Orleans Saints. I've coached Cooper Kupp. I've also had a chance to meet with Ted Ginn Jr. There are some NFL guys that Brandon, when he was going through the combine, had wanted me to help him as well as help them. Also, the cornerback for the San Diego Chargers, Everett, I forget his first name. So it was funny because they were at the combine and they had these pro speed coaches or whatever you want to call them. And every night, Brandon would call me or text me and video something and send it to me and ask me, is this right pop? Is that right pop? Is all these things. So some of these guys overheard him, like, who are you talking to? And I talking to my pop, like, who's your pop? Well, my pop's a cat coach, and I don't really like what they're doing here. I'm going to do this. And we started, sticking to what we did when we went to Lincoln and when we went to Oregon State. We just stuck with that. And I don't know if a lot of people know, when Brandon ran, we ran a 4.30, 4.30. Was the fastest one at the combine that year. Got $100,000 from the Beaters. Put his name on the map as well as being the Olympic winner in Paris as one of the fastest guys coming out of the combine. Just doing those kind of things to, again, help people understand that running is fundamental. Running is a part of everything you do, even when you swim, because swimming is a running motion. So running is fundamental. It's something that everyone has to do in every sport, and certain sports need that little hump to get over the hump. And I still work with Brandon, as we speak. I work with him every year. We've got other guys that come out and work out. I don't brag about it because that's not me. I'm not into, I'm the greatest coach, and I don't get into that. If you ask me to help you, I'm going to help you.
I'm going to tell you, I brought that up because I wanted people to know that because you've never said otherwise. So I forced you now to expose it in front of everyone. Now, so then, live with that. Hey, my brother, it's been wonderful, man. Thank you very much for doing this, and I appreciate you taking the time. And let me tell you, you're the first. I hope to have many other guests on this show, and I appreciate what you do and what you've done. And thank you very, very much, man, from the bottom of my heart. And keep working with these kids, man, and make things happen. And good luck this season, brother.
Thank you for having me, man. I appreciate it.
One love, man. Take care of yourself.
One love. Thank you.
All right, my man. I'll talk to you later.
You got it.
Okay. Now, folks, while I had Coach Myke Lewis-Tyson on the show, a few other interesting things have occurred while I've been talking. The NBA has suspended the season. Right, I had the Dallas Mavericks game on right before this. That game is now the last game of the NBA season because the Kings had a game with New Orleans that they just canceled because of the NBA's determination after Utah center Rudy Gobert tested positive for coronavirus. Folks, this is serious. Let me tell you, as somebody who's been around a lot of sports and been around the money-making side of sports, when you start talking about canceling games, and you start talking about canceling games on national television where there's ratings, where there's commercials, where all of the sponsors and all of this stuff, let me tell you, that is serious business. You're talking billions of dollars that are about to be lost by a bunch of people who would never do it unless it was something serious. The NBA is doing this with the idea in mind that in the future, they're going to end up, but they're going to see how they told you out. And if it's a situation where this is going to go, what's going to end up happening is they're going to end up playing games in empty arenas, which is absolutely crazy. As somebody who Black Devils played the game in my life, and there's absolutely nobody else in this.
And of course, you are listening to TVOSJ, the voice of San Joaquin, right here off the Miracle Mile. You've been tuned into Simmons on Sports with Kevin Simmons and Myke Lewis-Tyson. And of course, and when we are having a live broadcast, every now and then we will lose them. Hopefully, we'll be able to get them back and continue with of course, Simmons on Sports. So here we go. Thank you so much for tuning in. Do appreciate you. Let's all continue so that way we can finish.
Oh, okay. It's been, this situation is unprecedented. It's been, I don't know how they're going to deal with this. You're talking about canceling games. You're talking about possibly the NCAA tournament. From what I just heard, they're talking about doing March Madness with no fans. With no fans. This is, like I said, this is unprecedented. I've never, in my athletic career, have heard of anything this, traumatic. And the announcers are confused. During the game I was watching with Dallas and the Dallas Maverick game, the announcers weren't sure if they were going to stop right then, because the announcement that the rest of the season was going to be suspended was made in the third quarter of the game. So they were questioning whether or not the game was going to continue. And the owner of the Dallas Mavericks got the phone call during the game, got the text that the rest of the season was suspended, and the camera was on him, and he's got this perplexed look on his face like, are you serious? So this is like uncharted waters. This is a completely and different circumstance that I've ever heard of in sport, where, you've got games being canceled, you've got players that are getting sick. Now, that means everybody that played for Utah Jazz has to be tested. That also means that everybody for the Oklahoma City Thunder is going to have to be tested. And their wives and their friends and their family and team personnel and anyone who made contact with them. This is how wide-ranging and how huge this situation is becoming right before our eyes.
Kind of scary.
And there's, I guess already over in Europe, that soccer, big-time soccer has already made these decisions and started doing it. But now it's affecting us here in North America. And you've got, confusion because nobody expected it to come to this.
Yeah.
So it's just absolutely insane. And I'm curious to see how they're going to address or deal with this over the course of the season. Because, like I said, I've never heard or experienced anything like it. Now, I've been in fact, I can think of one situation that's similar. When I was playing at Washington State, we had a situation once where everybody got some food poisoning.
Oh.
And we were all, let's say, we had issues with things not being able to stay down. And we actually had a game that day. And quite a few of us weren't doing very well, including yours truly. And that in itself, I'll never forget how that was, because we literally had a bucket sitting by the bench. Now, I know that sounds hecka gross, but it's true. We had a bucket by the bench behind everybody's chair just in case. That's how bad it got. But now we're talking teams, we're talking fans, we're talking referees, we're talking ball boy. We're talking people that mop the floor. We're talking the announcers. I mean, this is nuts. And I when I look at this, I think of the movie Outbreak,
Yes.
where in the movie there's a guy in the movie theater that coughs, and everybody in the theater starts laughing, and this droplet flies all the way around the room and goes into this guy's mouth, and the next thing you know, this guy's sick, and his girlfriend's sick, and his mother's sick, and his friends are sick, and it's just, this is unprecedented. And like I said, for a league to suspend games, when I know how much the NBA makes off of each one of these games. For example, the Warriors, if the Warriors cancel, the Warriors gate for one game is $3.8 million for one home game.
Wow.
Now you take that, and there's 41 home games. That's $128 million in revenue, folks. And by the way, I ain't got into the parking and all the other stuff and the merchandising and the hats and the T-shirts and all that. I'm just telling you that they've been every Warrior game, they make $3.8 million at the Chase Center.
Wow.
So if you cancel, there's 20 games left in the season. If for some reason all 20 of those get canceled, now see, the Warriors are in a unique situation. Because they moved to a new arena and because they had won, they've been to the finals 5 years in a row and won 3 of those out of 5, won world championships. All the seats in that Chase Center are sold for like 2 years, and there's a waiting list of like 50,000 people.
Wow.
So if they don't have people in the stand, they don't lose a dime. Because, in fact, that arena itself, which was privately financed, basically is already paid for. Yeah, I know. It's a $1.5 million arena plus all the infrastructure around it, and they had it paid off before they opened the doors through corporate sponsorships, season tickets, and all that nonsense. So it might not hurt them as bad. But what if you're an NBA team that's struggling? If you're a team that your attendance is okay but not great, you can't afford to miss games. And all of those people that work there that sell popcorn and T-shirts and all of that, and the guys who work in the parking lot and all that kind of stuff, that's going to affect them too. So when you look at this in perspective, this has a huge impact. And I'm going to be real curious to see, because like as of this moment, that Kings-New Orleans Pelicans game is not happening. And now ESPN, who was carrying the game, has to figure out how to fill the 2 hours that on TV that the game was supposed to hold. They got to figure that out. And they got to put in advertising time and all that kind of stuff. So this is going to be interesting to see how this all rolls out. But at any rate, I want to make sure that all you listeners out there understand what the heck's going on and how serious this is. And it's serious stuff, folks. And I hope it doesn't get any worse than it appears. But it's got potential. So, with that, I also have to say, for the part of the program, I have to give a shout out to the 3 local teams in the area that are I hope now, get the chance to play for a state championship on Saturday. The championship finals are going to be held at the Golden One Arena in Sacramento on Saturday. Because as of right now, I'm not sure if those guys are going to be able to play, if they're going to allow fans, or if they're going to cancel it. I don't know. I think that's all up in the air based on what the NBA just did. But at any rate, the schools that have the opportunity, that have won and have the opportunity to go, are Ripon Christian, Division 6, Ripon Christian out of Ripon. Yeah, little small Ripon Christian. They basically won the Division 6 championship, which is amazing because I'm not sure how many students they have, but it ain't a lot. And for them to be able to run the gauntlet and get all the way into a final is amazing stuff. And so I want to give them a shout out. Also, Brookside Christian, they're Division 4. They're a state finalist. And what's weird and kind of ironic is I've heard rumors that this is their last year as a school. From what I hear, the school's going to shut down. So it's kind of ironic situation that the year that they would have that happen, that they they made the state finals. And to me, that's like, if you got to go out, I would have to say that would be the best way to do it. And they've hung together through all of this, which I think is a testament to the kids, the school, and the coaching staff and the administration. Because with all that impending stuff hanging over your head, and to get the kids to be able to focus enough to go out and do what they've done, I think that's extremely impressive. So I got to give a big shout out to Brookside Christian, because that's, in my opinion, man, that's a great story. You don't get no better than that. And then you have Division II NorCal champion, the Western Ranch Cougars. Now, what I dig about what they've done to get to this point is early in the season, they were struggling. I mean struggling. They had a tough schedule. They took on all comers. They had decided that this was going to be the year that they were going to stretch themselves out and see just how good they could be after having a good team for the last couple of years. And the team, midway through the year, began to gel. Toward the playoffs, they got stronger. They started playing well together, and now they've run the gauntlet and they're in the state final. And it's particularly impressive. And for them, it also to kind of put a cherry on top, to get to this point, they went through and beat the traditional power of St. Mary's High School in Division II in the semifinal. And I was at that game, and Coach Myke referred to it earlier in his interview. And I'll tell you right now, that was an electric atmosphere. And as somebody who played high school sports here, I can remember when that was the norm. When you walk, every Friday night, dang near every gym in our town, you had sellouts. You had people, the kids yelling and screaming, the parents, the kids, your aunt, your uncle, showing up at the sophomore game because they had to get there early if they wanted to get in. I mean, it was just, it was mayhem. And that was, for the first time in a long time I've seen around here, that happened, and it was just a wonderful experience. And I hope it's a harbinger of things to come, because, I can't remember if there's ever been 3 local teams that got to the state finals since they changed the format and allowed and changed the way the playoff format works. To my knowledge, I don't think there's been 3 teams from the southern, from the 209 area in the state finals at the same time. Now, football this year, I think they did do that. And that's another testament as to the kind of athletes and the kind of coaching that we have in this area. And it makes me feel good to see these kids, breaking barriers and doing things and, doing stuff for the 209. Because we're overlooked, folks. And when I talk to friends around the country, and I tell them, in fact, because this is funny but also sad, I was talking to a friend of mine, and they said, hey, man, you're from Stockton, right? I'm like, yeah. And they said, well, we're Stockton. I'm like, oh, Stockton's about 60, 70 miles east of the Bay Area and about 40 miles south of Sacramento. And they're like, oh, so you're only 60, 70 miles from San Francisco. I said, yeah. They go, oh, so, you go to the capital a lot. I said, yeah. Sacramento's only 40 miles away. No, I mean San Francisco. Wait. San Francisco is not the capital of California, folks. Check it. I don't know what happened to you in your history class. San Francisco is not the capital. It's actually Sacramento. Oh. me up is that we just exist in this like little bowl here in the valley, and most of the people, other than negative stuff, most people don't hear much about what we do down here. And if they do hear something about it, it's pretty negative. Someone's saying, "Oh, Stockton's a crappy place to live," all that nonsense. I blow that away because I love living here, and I love the people that live here.
Thank you.
And I've been all over the place around the country, and I've got to travel, but I always end up right back here. And the people that are here, and the people that I've known that have been here, are the kind of people that would make somebody want to come back. So when these kids go out and do special things, all of us old school people that have been here forever need to start supporting that.
Yes.
And I realize it gets tough because a lot of people from the Bay Area are coming this way. And, I'm never going to criticize that because, it's expensive to live in the Bay Area. So the next, logical thing is for people to move down here. But when that happens, they don't understand how we do stuff down here and what a close-knit community we are. And everybody here knows somebody there. Like, I see little kids running around, I look at them and I think, that kid looks familiar. Then I find out it's the grandson of a guy I went to high school with. Or somebody that I've known since high school. And I go, I guess that's why they look like them, because it's them. And that's the unique part about living in this town as long as I have. Because there's all kinds of history in this town that people just don't know anything about. So when these kids do big things, we got to support them. We have to. Because there's too much negativity. So my thing is, it's all about raising up and giving these kids some love, teaching them about the history of this town, and supporting things in the best way we can. So that said, that's the edition of S Tonight with our sports. I hope that everybody out there has a chance to listen, enjoy what we're doing, and we're going to take this thing and we're going to have a lot of fun with it. And I hope to bring on different and unique guests every week, some local, some national, some with worldwide perspectives. But for now, I appreciate if you were listening. If you're not listening, start listening.
Share.
And I appreciate it. And thank you for this edition, our fourth edition of Simmons on Sports.
Good job. Good job.
Thank you, Betty. I appreciate it. It was fun. And I can't wait for the next one.
And again, very educational. Thank you. Thank you so much, Kevin.
You're welcome.
And thank you, Myke Lewis-Tyson, as well.
You have a great evening, Betty.
All right. I'll see you next time. All right. Thank you so much.
You got it.
All righty. Simmons on Sports, episode number 4. Woo! Love it. Okay, you heard it right here on the Voice of San Joaquin, TVOSJ. Yes, over here off the Miracle Mile in Stockton, beautiful Stockton, California. And just like Kevin said, beautiful place to live. And yeah, he's right. This is my home. And I came back, and I will forever support Stockton and help continue to build this community radio station for who? You. You. All the listeners out there that are tuned into the Voice of San Joaquin. This is your community radio. Would love for you to become a member someday. All it takes is $25 for the year, and you are in. Okay, so support and support your community radio station. We are a bigger name, a bigger mission, community inspired, member supported, volunteer powered. You can find us over here at 231 Bedford Road, Stockton, California, off Pacific Avenue, and right across the street from Werlo's Restaurant, if you know where that's at. Again, Miracle Mile, we're here waiting for you. Give us a call if you have a business, if you have a product, if you have an event, something coming up, and you want to hear it over the airwaves right here on your community radio station, The Voice of San Joaquin. All it takes is a phone call, 209-467-4455, and we'll make it happen. Okay. All right. Remember that we are going to be soon 89.5 FM KBCC Tracy. We are a local nonprofit multimedia community broadcasting network. And thank you so much for tuning in. Do appreciate you in a big way. Big shout out to some of our big sponsors that have been supporting and sponsoring year after year our reunion fundraiser for the radio station, since we are a 501c3. And I want to give a shout out to PG&E, Together Building a Better California. Also, I'd like to shout out Winners Stockton, and that's Bingo. They were also our top sponsors. State Farm. Yes, State Farm, like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Another top sponsor. Thank you so much, State Farm. Stockton Monument, El Concilio, GRA Architect and Associates. Thank you so much, being our top sponsors as well. Doug Vigil, Julie Damon Brown, Veronica Vargas, The Credit Solution, Mr. D's, Ramirez Ranch, and I could go on and go on. Mountain Mike's Pizza, Most Services, Lenders T-shirt, Hotel Furniture Liquidators. We also have Custom Plastic and Signs, Tender Donuts. Okay. Habitat for Humanity, and the Miracle Mile bookstore. So if you want to be part of our community radio station, which is your community radio station, gives you your voice back, all you have to do is look us up on the voice of SanJoaquin.org or tvosj.org and become a member. You'll find everything you need right there to support us and grow with us. Your community radio. Okay? Thank you so much. It has been Betty Ramirez right here on Sabor Latino, and also the voice of San Joaquin. And again, congratulations, Kevin. Simmons on Sports. You can catch them every Wednesday at 7 o'clock. All right? 7 o'clock and 7 to 8. So please tune in. You could also find the interviews off on Facebook, and you can find us right there. Just look up the Voice of San Joaquin. Also, if you look up the Voice of Stockton, which was our original name, you can also find us there. We used to be KXVS. We're no longer KXVS. We are now TVOSJ. So still, if you were to call up KXVS or the Voice of Stockton, it will bring you up to our latest page, which is the Voice of San Joaquin, okay? And there you'll be able to find a Simmons on Sports. And, of course, this is episode number 4, so you'll be able to tune in and maybe even share 1, 2, and 3 with your family and friends. To have you do that. That way you're promoting your community radio station, which is a nonprofit radio, community radio that is, and we would love for you to do that, okay? Remember, community radio is here. And for all the people in the San Joaquin area and afar, using all social media, we're there for you. We're on Facebook, YouTube, Snapchat, Twitter, even Instagram. Hey, so there you go. Let everybody know that they have a community radio station right here off the Miracle Mile, and they have their voice back. All right. This has been Betty Ramirez. Thank you so much for tuning in. Until mañana, I shall see you on Sabor Latino. Thank you so much. I'm there 4 to 6, bringing you the latest of music, Latino music with a Latin sound. 4 to 6 again. And on Mondays, Wednesdays, we have Noticias y Algo Más, and that's with Profe Cortés, and that's all Spanish news. Saturdays, we have La Voz, which means the voice, and that is between the hours of 4 and 7 p.m. And this is where we have DJs that come in and spin a little bit, mix a little bit, and have their own show. So if you're interested, a DJ, in an hour or two, to come in and do your own show, give me a call at 209-467-4455, and let's make it happen for you, okay? I'm also looking for anybody that plays instruments, that can sing. If you want to do an interview and introduce your music to the community, this is a place to be, okay? Give me a call, 209-467-4455.